The brand new leeway area, the Chenyu Vale, has given old and new players alike brand new opportunities to collect weapons that they may have accidentally foddered, such as the 3-star Dark Iron Sword, the Halberd, and the White Tassel, etc. But which of these 3 stars are actually worth it? How do they stack up to their 4-star and 5-star counterparts? And when should you use them for your account? Welcome to Jello Impact, where we build and test every single character to help you decide who you want to wish for and build. Speaking of that goal, we are making incredible progress towards building and testing every character. We only have 3 left to go on my account, and I'm almost done Child, and the remaining 3 we are just waiting for MiHoYo. So if you like this goal, make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out. I've seen a few people in the comments being like, you haven't built every single character, stop false advertising. We build and test every single character. That is what we do. It's an ongoing process. Once they're all built, I'll say I've built and tested every single character. Oh, sorry, I prematurely moved from an up. He's actually still here, but we're very, very close. All right, let's do tier list format for all of this. And is this really all? It feels like there should be way more 3-star weapons than this. All right, so the first one, the Amber Bead. Now, the Amber Bead, actually, like, the stat line isn't too bad. As you can see here, it's an elemental mastery weapon, and normal attack hits increase all elemental damage by 6% for 6 seconds, max 2 stacks. The problem is it basically just has a worse stat line than the magic guide, a worse condition, and when you want elemental mastery, you don't need attack as much. And that's the whole thing about 3-star weapons, is that sometimes they have really good stat lines in favor of not having a good base attack. So that's the Emerald Bead kind of fails on this point, and the magic guide is just better. And we'll take this opportunity to put the magic guide in situational build. If you have a Nahida and you don't have a better option for her, then magic guide is actually like, it's sort of the baseline free-to-play option. So you definitely want to make sure you lock some of your magic guide and actually build it if you don't have anything better. So magic guide, pretty good actually. I don't know if it's worth locking as a tier when we have situational build. Is that ever really going to happen? We'll put that there. And then the top tier, I'm gonna change as situational but surprisingly great, because 3 stars are always gonna be situational. You're never gonna well, actually, that's actually not true. There is one weapon that pretty much every account should build, and maybe there'll be more, but there's one that's actually like a 5-star. So anyways, magic guide, Pog. Black Tassel. Now, Black Tassel is also a situational build. You could maybe even put it in situational but surprisingly great, because when it's good, there really isn't many other options. Like if you want to build Chevres and you have her C0, or even if she's C6 but you don't want to invest in her damage, building HP is the best thing you can do, and there just really isn't anything that gives as much HP as the Black Tassel. Like if we go to the polearm section, we look at the Black Tassel, it has 37%, it has 10% HP at level 1, right? Obviously it goes up when it grows. But if we look at 4 stars, the only other HP one we have right now is the Rightful Reward at 6%, and it has a very low HP stat. And this, don't look at this doesn't exist. Don't want that. But even still, even if that weapon isn't just a fan creation, this still has the highest HP substats. So it actually has a niche in being the best in slot at something, which is pretty cool. So definitely lock, your Black Tassels. You don't need refinements on it, because all it gives you for the refinement is increased damage against slimes. It, I think, is just the funniest thing ever. So definitely keep one Black Tassel and move on. I know the final one, early game option, and that's where the next one goes into the Blood Tainted Greatsword. Sometime when you're early in the game, you might get yourself a character and you want them to do damage. Well, the Blood Tainted Greatsword is really, really good. It gives you elemental mastery. And so this is a great option for like Diluc, for Sayu. Actually, I think that it even has, if you're looking for just elemental mastery stacking, which you might be on Sayu and you don't want to use Fav Greatsword for some reason, it can be even in the situational build tier. I think I'm going to leave it an early game option, because I think even like for Sayu, you still just would rather run Fav or something like that. But the Blood Tainted Greatsword, actually not so bad. And it's passive, increased damage dealt against opponents affected by Pyro or Electro. Pretty good passive for someone like Diluc. So, this is actually a weapon that you want to lock in the early game before you get access to Rain Slasher or even Prototype. But I think it might perform like pretty close to Prototype especially if you're using Bennett. So, Blood Tainted Greatsword, not that bad. It's no secret 5-star, because these characters, they do want they do want their base attack. So, you know, it's maybe there's an electro character one day that would use that. I don't think so. I think there's anyways, early game option. Cool Steel. Attack percent substat, increases damage against opponents affected by Hydro or Cryo. This is an early game option, you know, for your Kaya, for something like that. You're gonna ditch it as soon as you possibly can for any 4-star, but you know, it's Cool Steel. I kind of want to put it in looks cool because it is Cool Steel, but you know, it's an okay early option. It has stats, right? You can use attack percent, you can use damage. You know, that's not so bad. And then obviously the one that everyone's been you know, talking about right now is the Dark Iron Sword. And I don't know if I'm gonna put this in situational but surprisingly great or a situational build, because the thing is, you can just craft the Iron Sting, and the Iron Sting does sort of just have, you know, more stats. It gives you more elemental mastery, right? 165, and this is 128, but this is not level 80, so it's probably like 136 or something like that, whatever it is. So, but the reality is this costs you a sword billet, and you may want to save your sword billet for Aminoma or the new sword from Fontaine, or you might not have any sword billets, or you might just want to save them for later. And you know, the 30 elemental mastery you're gonna lose, it is big, but it's not huge. Like it's noteworthy, but it's not huge. And Dark Iron Sword, I use Dark Iron Sword personally. Well, I used to use it on Kuki before I started using the Tukabu, just because it looks so good. Like that's the thing about Dark Iron Sword, is it's just so drippy. It looks so good on Kuki, and it looks so good on Kazuha. And it's also very conceivable that you may not have enough, you know, sword billets for both of these characters. And so, you know, having one Iron Sting, having one of the other ones, having one Dark Iron Sword, one Iron Sting is good. Or you just use them on both and you just save your sword billets for something else. Like sword billets are hard to get, and even like me, I haven't gotten any catalyst billets for a long time. So I think Dark Iron Sword, like it has a legitimate use case. Like it is a pretty good thing to have on your account, and I'm gonna put it in situational build. I do think it is pretty great, but I think the fact that Iron Sting is a craftable that gives you more EM makes it, this doesn't occupy like a niche. Debate Club, one of the best, probably the best names in the game. I remember being new. These are all so nostalgic to me because these are ones that I used when I was new, but the Debate Club, just a hilarious name. So attack percent subset, after using elemental skill on hit, normal and charge attacks deal additional damage to 60% of attack in a small AoE. I mean, does this even look cool? I think the Debate Club is just fodder. I don't think that you ever really, like, obviously in the very beginning, if you have nothing else, it has a cool name, so we could put it in looks cool for that, but no, we'll put it in fodder. Next is the Ebony Bow. I've never even seen the Ebony Bow. Maybe this is one of the ones that you get from the Leeway chests, because again, reminder, a bunch of these weapons are Leeway chest exclusive, like the Fillet Blade and this one and the Messenger, and of course Dark Iron Sword. So, and the White Tassel especially we're going to talk about. So, you know, if you think any of these look cool, he'd make sure you want to lock them. But attack percent increases damage against mechanoid ruin opponents. That is a hilarious passive, and it's not good, but that is funny. So, you know, props to that. The Emerald Orb, I remember getting so many of this when I was new. 20 EM, so a very low EM, even lower than the Amber Bead, and upon causing elemental reaction that has to do with Hydro, increases attack. No, this is literally garbage. Yeah, that's no good. The Fairest Shadow, HP percent Claymore, which increases charge attacks and becoming harder to interrupt. That's crazy that there was a stat line that increases interruption resistance. We've never had that since then. That would be so cool. It'd be kind of toxic if it was on a 5-star weapon and like gave the user infinite interruption resistance. That would be kind of wild if that happened. That would be that thing. I had no idea that there was a weapon that actually had that passive. That is crazy. But an HP percent Claymore, I don't think that there are any Claymores at this point that give an HP percent. And let me see, is the HP percentage even anything to write home about? It's much lower than the Black Tassel's HP percent. So I think that this is unfortunately fodder. Do we have any other HP percent Claymores though? Like a 4-star? Oh, we have the Bell. And this gives less HP percent than the Bell. So yeah, this really is fodder. Yeah, this is really bad. And you all have a lot of bells. I know you do. The Fillet Blade. I pretty much created this tier knowing that this was going to go in it. This is probably one of the coolest looking weapons in the game. Like when you refine it, it looks like this. It's badass. We need a 5-star that looks like this. Like this one looks incredible. It's Kazuha's signature weapon in his trailer. I'm upset that Hoyo did it so dirty, but you know, unfortunately, Fillet Blade attack percent, 50% chance to deal 20% attack damage to a single opponent. It's like, these attack percent scaling 3-star weapons is just really bad because, like, I know I said that this is okay because early game option, but 3-star inherently they have a lower base attack. So the only ones that are valuable are ones that give secondary stats to characters that don't care about base attack. So yeah, fillet blade, no good. The halberd, another really cool looking weapon. It would have been cool if this was the HP percent one, so we could have, you know, used it on Chevreus. I just think it's a great looking weapon, but being an attack percent once again just makes it useless. So maybe we'll put in looks cool though. Harbinger of Dawn. Most of you already know how great this weapon is, but it has a really low base attack, a huge crit damage stat line, and then when HP is above 90%, increases crit rate by 14%, and that's 28% at R5. An absolutely bonkers stat line. Like, I don't know if I'm going to put it actually a 5-star. I think it's still situational, but it is still surprisingly great. Like, on characters that don't use base attack, this is almost always their best 4-star option. Like, this is Alhaitham's best 4-star weapon. Like, it's obviously a 3-star, but it's Alhaitham's best, it's Layla's best, it's Albedo's best. Who knows, you know, if Kiori, for example, comes out and scales off of defense, this is probably going to be her best. Obviously, Albedo has the Cinnabar Spindle now, but aside from the 5 people who have that, it is his best. So really an excellent weapon. Again, for characters that don't care about base attack, like characters like Alhaitham, doesn't care that much about it. It goes here. I think because of the passive is so conditional, like being above 90% is hard to pull off for a lot of characters. It's gonna go here, but still an amazing weapon. You don't want to forget about that. For Bow, the Messenger, crit damage, charged attack hits on weak points, dealing additional 100% attack damage as crit damage. Unfortunately, the passive kind of ruins it. I mean, it kind of looks cool, I guess, a limited weapon, but it's nice that it has a crit damage stat line, but compared to, and also having the higher base attack for the 3-star weapons, definitely makes it lose out on value. So that's definitely a no-go. The Otherworldly Story, an ER weapon, picking up an elemental orb particle recovers 1% HP. Hilarious. I think this is gonna go just in fodder. We've got other ER weapons, prototype Amber, that are craftable and just are way better. And I think this is a pretty high base attack. Yeah, that's no good. I've never seen this one before. The Quartz, EM weapon. Upon causing an overload, melt, burning, vaporize, burgeon, attack is increased by 20%. Again, mixing EM stuff with other stuff is not so great. And again, a high base attack as far as 4-stars go. Not the worst, but not better than Blood-Tainted Greatsword. So it just goes over there. This next one's actually one you want to keep in mind. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of a different one. This is the Raven Bow, EM, and increases damage against opponents affected by Hydro or Pyro. It's like, no. Wait, is this the Raven Bow? Yes. Is there anyone that can use this? EM and damage percent. So you want, so like a Dendro, like Fischl? No, Fischl likes attack. If there was like an HP scaling, would I lock this one for later? Oh no, it's a high base attack and low stat line. Yeah, that's a fodder. That's a fodder, guys. Okay, next is the Recurve Bow, HP percent. This is funny because it's like pretty good on Yelan, because Yelan just doesn't have any 3-star, 4-star good options. Slingshot's just generally better on Yelan though, but you can use this one. Maybe I'll put under early game option, like for an early game Yelan, but that just seems too niche. But I mean, technically it's an early game option, but only for HP percent scaling bow characters, which I think is just Yelan. So who has an early game Yelan and doesn't have Slingshot? But I'm just gonna put it here just so you take a second look at it and maybe rewind to the video or go to the part of the video where we talk about it, just so you can hear what it's good for. Next is the Sharpshooter's Oath, crit damage and damage to weak spots. It's just cancer to even try and activate that. And even if you are good at sharpshooting and stuff like that, the Prototype Crescent is one of the most broken stat line bows, and we have that, so that definitely goes there. The Skyrider Greatsword, I think this one's hilarious because yeah, it's like one of Eula's best free-to-play options, better than the Snow Tomb Star Silver sometimes, which is hilarious being a 3-star, especially for a character like Eula who really wants a 5-star one. But you know, this is an early game option, not just for Eula, but for Razor laser, or for anyone else who you want to do physical damage. Like it's doing getting physical damage bonus is pretty darn good, and getting this normal and charge attack bonus increase is actually pretty good for just early game mashing with the Claymore character, just using their physical attack. So this is a pretty good early game option. Claymore. Next is the Skyrider Greatsword, gives ER and increases attack and movement speed. This is like a pretty good early game option for someone like Xingqiu, or someone who's birth dependent Dendro Traveler, who really wants to keep their burst up, but you have really limited access to ER stuff at the beginning of the game. So this is a weapon that you can actually level up and use in the early game. Okay. And next is the slingshot. Now, when I say these are actually a 5-star, like this one's, I'm going to change it to be less contentious, actually unironically great. The slingshot is actually unironically great. It's literally like a couple percent away from rust on Yoimiya, just like 15% away, maybe 20% away from her 5-star weapons. Like it is Tainari's best free-to-play option. It barely gets beat out. It beats out, in my understanding, 4-star stuff like the stringless. Like slingshot it's super good on Yelan. It's definitely her best free-to-play option if you're playing her like on a Raiden team or on a double hydro where she doesn't need as much energy. And when I say free-to-play, I just mean like you don't have her signature. Like aside from her signature, it's like the best one because she just doesn't use base attack, so a lot of the 5-stars just don't matter. This is just better. And so like aside from Fav, this is like one of her best weapons, which is super crazy. So slingshot, actually nuts. Definitely make sure you lock copies of the slingshot. Thrilling Tales is the next one that goes up here. This one is obviously even better than the slingshot because there really just is nothing that does like this. The HP percent doesn't matter. It's all in the passive. When the next character taking the field has attack increased by 24%, 48% at R5. 48% is like just a massive amount of attack. Like it really, really makes a difference to how much damage a character is doing. So many Catalyst characters, maybe not so many, but a good chunk of Catalyst characters can use this weapon really, really well. So you definitely want to have a copy of this on your account. And the best part is you don't even need to level it up. Like you can level it up if your other character does some damage and you want to do that, or if you want the HP or something like that, but you don't even need to level it up. You can just leave it at level 1 R5. So really, really, really good. Next is the Traveler Handy Sword. Defense percent in each orb restores HP. I mean, it looks cool. That's about the best we can say for the Traveler's Handy Sword. It's definitely, unfortunately, not good, but it does look cool. The Twin Nephrite. This looks really cool. Crit rate and defeating an opponent increases movement speed. Yeah, that's a no, but it does look cool. So I'll say that. I've never seen this before. What's this Claymore? It's not even on this list. The heck is this? Oh yeah, am I looking at swords? No, these are Claymores. Oh, it's the White Iron Greatsword. Here it is. I couldn't see it there, I'm blind. Defense percent and defeating an opponent restores 8% HP. The White Iron Greatsword. This must be another one in only in Liyue chest maybe, or something. I don't know. It's saying it's in a Mondstadt thing. Interesting. I mean, it looks cool, so there you go. And then the final one is the White Tassel. I would say situational build for the White Tassel. Sino, Zhao. I think better on Sino than Zhao because he doesn't care about the base attack. So because White Tassel gives some pretty good stats, crit rate and normal attack damage increased by 24%. If it also increased skill damage, it would actually be cracked on Sino. But just increasing normal attack, like not as good, but maybe down the road, like a character will be a normal attacking polearm character and doesn't scale off of attack. And then this could actually be like a really, really good weapon, like more up here. So that's it, guys. That's the 3-star list. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know which ones you've built, which ones you like, and let me know which ones you've accidentally foddered. For me, I've foddered all of my White Tassels. I do not have any. I've foddered my slingshot. No, I haven't. I have a copy of slingshot saved. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Take care. Bye for now.